So an old friend of mine just kind of let me know that when I start doing these videos, I need to feel loved. So I'm going to try to generate some self-love for myself right now. I'm going to generate some self-love for you. So let's take a moment to do that. Thanks for bearing with me. This video is going to be about communication. In the Dhamma, or sort of like the Buddhist traditions, we talk about the middle path, right? And I like to kind of think about that in terms of communication as well. So in the Dhamma, we have kind of three barrows, three hallways, right? One is kind of craving. Right, on one side you've got craving. On the other side you've got aversion, right? So trying to avoid, right? Craving's like, I want that, I want that, I want something pleasant, right? And the middle path is just kind of calmness, right? It's balance. It doesn't want either of those things. It is. It's direct, it's pointed, it's focused, it's true, and it's by far the most powerful, right? And that kind of focus and line, right, is like kind of like a hot knife that's slicing right through the butter. If you're trying to kind of cut the butter in this way, right, you're not going to go through it, right? So this kind of directness, this pointedness, and expressing what you feel, right? So we'll talk about the first two, right? Often where, and in this case, right, we have sort of, in communication, we have sort of passive, right? We have sort of this sort of trying to avoid. We have kind of this aggressive side, right? We're trying to kind of like push something off of ourselves and kind of using anger or using force, right? Sometimes we have like a combination of those two where we use a little bit of passivity that is aggressive, right? Or we have assertive communication, right? So that's kind of that direct aspect. And so we can kind of, as another point, kind of feel within ourselves when we're kind of getting ready to communicate. Is there sort of irritation, right? Are we craving, right? Is that there this sense of like wanting and sort of this this vibration of irritation? Are we avoiding something? Are we kind of feeling fear or nervousness or anger? Like what's sort of coming up for us, like when we're thinking about how we're going to communicate? Or are we just kind of neutral and clear and what have you? And so assertive communication is obviously the best, right? And there's varying degrees of it. And that's not something that we're often taught, right? We're not a society that is always like very assertive in terms of what we're feeling and what we're thinking, right? So we're often taught to kind of suppress some of the things that we might want to communicate and might naturally communicate if we were kind of in a different sort of cultural setting. So that's kind of the first thing to think about, right? The other thing is, thinking about what we're communicating, right? So a lot of times we want to kind of create clear boundaries, right? By saying this is what I'm available for and this is what I'm not available for. We also want to go ahead and make sure that people know our intentions. This is sort of what I want to set forward, right? A lot of times we often, often men and also everybody, we have a difficult time communicating what we feel, right? So if we want to kind of get our needs met, we sometimes want to create sort of this sentence structure, which I always talk about in my work, which is I feel blank, right? So you're saying to the person, I feel blank, and comma, I need blank, right? So based on what you're feeling, this is what you need, right? And the feeling space is one that is a difficult one to argue, right? If you're if you're deciding this is kind of what you feel and you're experiencing that, not a lot of people can argue that. So, express your feelings, express what you need, set boundaries, and do your best to kind of, use that internal sort of barometer to know, like, am I being aggressive, being passive, or am I being assertive? And we're going to try to kind of go down the middle road as much as we can. So while I'm loving myself, I'm loving you. Go out and shine and be your best self. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.